Hello, and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha, teachings of Rav Eliezer Melamed Shlit'a. Well, we're back after a longer than expected hiatus, but we are back nonetheless. So, we will continue with our study in the laws, customs, and practices of Shabbos, and the next chapter is Tfilos HaShabbos. Tfilas Amida Shel Shabbos Kolelos Besocha Sheva Brachos. The davening, as it were, on Shabbos includes 7 blessings. Nusach shalosh habrachos harishonos v'shalosh hacharonos k'nusach tfilas hamida shel chol. So we have the usual opening 3 and closing 3 that we have in every Shemoneh Esreh of the weekday. Uvamakom shalosh esrei habrachos ha'emtzios omrim bracha achas michedes al kedushas haShabbos. And whereas Shemoneh Esreh, which takes its name from 18, although it's really, let me tell you a secret, it's 19. But instead of the middle section of 13 blessings, so we have one unique blessing which speaks about the sanctity of Shabbos. Ba anu mevakshim sheyirtzeh Hashem b'menuchasenu v'yakdishenu b'mitzvosav. There we request, beseech God, that we should have the proper amount of rest, and that Hashem should sanctify us with His mitzvos. V'chosmim, and we conclude the blessing, Baruch atah Hashem mekadesh haShabbos, sanctifying the Shabbos. The psichas habracha teknu chachamim nusach miyuchad l'chol tefillah. But to open the blessing, that's the closing part. But to open the blessing, so we have a unique nusach for each part of davening. So in Mariv, Atah kidashta lo tefillas arvis, the opening portion starts with Atah kidashta, you have sanctified us. Shachris, you have Yismach Moshe, and Atah echad lemincha. And for mincha, we have Atah echad v'shimcha echad. And it is possible if somebody made a mistake and you said the wrong nusach, and let's say at mincha you said the shacharis, or vice versa, or here he says in Marav you said ato echad, and since it's basically the same sort of nusach, certainly the same conclusion, so one would still be yotze. You don't have to go back and repeat Shemoneh Esreh. Omnam at face value, really on Shabbos, we could say all the blessings that we say on a weekday. We could have just added one extra bracha for Shabbos. However, and the Gemara tells us in Brachos and Daf Chaf Aleph, that because of Kavod Shabbos, honoring the Shabbos, Chachamim did not want to lengthen and overly bother us with a longer type of davening. Va'od, she'ein matim levakesh b'Shabbos al inyanei hasha she'alul negrom la'adam tzar. And also, it's, for lack of a better word, it's not Shabbosdik. In other words, we don't want to be concerned, and be asking for things which could possibly cause us some sort of discomfort. Let's say we're thinking about refuah, someone's not well, or we're thinking about monetary issues, I need a job, things like that. So Chazal tell us maybe we shouldn't bother asking for these things, and therefore we won't have any angst about it. Lefichach, teknu chachamim lomer b'makom shlosh esrei habrachas hamtzios bracha achas. Therefore, the institution is to say one blessing instead of the middle 13. Ella sheim tov v'hischal lomer bracha shel chol v'nizkar be'emtza amiras achas habracha shahayom Shabbos mesayim esos habracha v'rach achar kach yachzor l'nisach Shabbos. And this is a very, very practical halacha. Happens all the time. It happens to me, and it's actually embarrassing. And I'll tell you exactly when we figure it out. But it's possible, since we are often, more of the time, saying the weekday nusach. So as soon as we say Ata Kadosh, it's possible that we go right to Ata Chone lo damdas malamin lo nishbina, and sometimes our mouths work quicker than our brains. So on Shabbos, you could be going at Tachonin, and usually the place where you recognize it, when you start to go Slach lo navinu, you bang your chest, and you said, oh, oops, it's not the weekday, it's Shabbos. So in that instance, you should finish the bracha which you're reciting, finish the actual, you say, Chanun Marbel is Sloach, and then you go to Ataki Dashta or Yismach Moshe, whatever it is the appropriate nusach for that particular davening. Since in actual halachic terms, one could say the weekday brachos, so Shulchan Aruch says that since you've already started the bracha, you should at least finish it. If you didn't say any of the Shabbos portion, you just said the weekday davening, Kolzman shadayin lasimas tefillah. So as long as you have not yet completed your davening, your Shemoneh Esreh, yachzor lebirchas hashabbos v'yamshich misham ad sof hatefillah. You should go back to Ata Kidashta Yismach Moshe Ata Echad, and then finish your davening. Havol in Kfar Siyam is called tefillah. So, however, if you've completed your entire Shemoneh Esreh, afilu im lo pasa acharav, even if you didn't yet take your 3 steps back, yachzor lispalas kol hatefillah mitchilasa, you have to go and you have to repeat the entire Shemoneh Esreh. Od tefillah kavo chachamim b'Shabbos. There's one additional tefillah. Additional is the key word, which is tefillas musaf. Musaf, which we say after Shachris. Sheniskeda kedeged our karbanos hanusafim shenitztavenu l'hakriv b'Shabbos. Musaf, like we have on all Yomim Tovim, is to recognize the additional karbanos, the additional offerings that were brought specifically on Shabbos. And gamba tefillah shalosh habrachos harishonos v'acharonos k'nitzach shar tefillos. These have the same opening and closing 3 as we have in all Shemoneh Esrehs. Uve'emtza tiknu bracha michedes al karbanos hamusaf u'kedushas hashabbos. And we have a specific nusach which deals with the karbanos and the sanctity of Shabbos and the additional offerings that were brought. Now, he says here in the note, Im tab tefillas musaf v'his cholam rebricha shalchol v'niska shalav l'isbal al musaf. Again, if you made a mistake and you started the weekday Shemoneh Esreh, and a time when you're supposed to say musaf, af sheish sovim sheyisamis habracha yafsik miyad b'shum shebrachas elu eina shechos tefillas musaf. The difference in halacha here is that he says you shouldn't finish those brachas because musaf is not the tefillas hayom. It's not part of the regular structure where you could have said the weekday brachas, but instead we shortened it and made a Shabbos one. It's not shacharis, it's not mincha. It's a special prayer unique to Shabbos only. Therefore, it's not fitting to say any of the weekday brachas. So he says that most poskim hold that one should actually stop where you are, not finish the bracha, and then say the proper musaf nusach ha-tefillah. So, great to be back. Continue our learning. I hope everybody is enjoying a nice winter season. Today is Rosh Chodesh Shabbat. Only 2.5 months till Pesach. Yes, let's let that soak in for a second. Rosh Chodesh Shabbat. And I hope everyone has a good Chodesh and a great day and a great week ahead.